Hey, one play at a time, urgency, do what you do. Love you, man, let's go.
Sometimes in sports, the memory and exact recall and calculation of an athlete or coach is downright scary. Take LA Rams head coach Sean McVay, for example. He can tell you every play he has ran as an offensive coordinator and head coach. It's eerie, but also impressive. Athletes have it too, but the number that can do so can be counted on one hand. Take LeBron James, for example. The King has impressed many people with his knowledge of tiny details over his life. Even when he was young, his coaches were impressed with the photographic memory skill. An infamous example of this is in 2018, when the Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers by 25 points in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
We ran him the first possession, we ran him down all the way to 2 on the shot clock. Marcus Morris missed a jump shot, followed it up, they got a dunk. We came back down, we ran a set for Jordan Clarkson, and he came off and missed it. They rebounded it. And we came back on the defensive end, and we got a stop. They took it out on the sideline. Jason Tatum took the ball out, threw it to Marcus Smart in the short corner. He made a 3. We come back down, missed another shot. And then Tatum came down and went 94 feet, did a Euro step, and made a right-hand layup timeout.
After the game, LeBron James was asked to describe a turning point in the game when the Celtics started to run away with the game, and he robotically described 3 straight possessions step by step. LeBron James's photographic memory is something to marvel over, as he said, "The first possession we ran them down all the way to 2 seconds left on the shot clock," James said. "Marcus Morris missed a jump shot. He followed it up. They got a dunk. We came back down. We ran a set for Jordan Clarkson, and he came off and missed it. They rebounded it. We came back on the defensive end, and we got a stop. They took it out on the sideline. Jason Tatum took the ball out, threw it to Marcus Smart in the short corner. He made a 3. We come back down, miss another shot, and then Tatum came down and went 94 feet, did a Euro step, and made a right-hand layup. Timeout." In fact, the naysayers fact-checked him and found out that he was spot on with his recalculation of what happened. This example isn't the first time he's perfectly recalled what happened during gameplay. A year before that, he perfectly described a few possessions after a playoff game with Cleveland. But before we jump in, please remember that if you've enjoyed the video thus far and can't wait to hear more about the impressive memory of King James, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons and make sure to tell your friends and family about the journey we are about to embark on. It is no secret anymore in the sports world that LeBron has one of sports' most fascinating brains. His photographic memory continues to amaze no matter how many times we hear about him recalling specific situations or facts. When he gifts us with amazing talents and he recalls an entire series of basketball events, it's like listening to your favorite song or artist for the first time. Well, maybe not that great, but you get my point. This was the case at the Lakers' first practice after the NBA All-Star Weekend earlier this year. The King recalled the final play that sealed his team's win over Team Giannis. This is what LeBron James said. "Coach drew a play in timeout to get a pin down for Kawhi Leonard. He was doing the Toronto versus Philly game clincher play where he hit the shot over Joel Embiid. They switched out on AD, and 2 guys went on AD, so Kawhi went to James Harden. James drove the baseline and threw it to CP, Chris Paul, in the corner. And then CP drove middle, kicked it back to me, and they were scrambled defensively. For a second, I was about to go one-on-one, which you saw in the picture that I posted of me and Giannis. Then when I saw Kyle Lowry on Anthony, man, I sound crazy calling you Anthony. I've been hanging with your family too long, they call you Anthony. When I saw Kyle on AD, we made eye contact, and I already knew he was going to duck it in with just a bang-bang play right there. For just being involved in a fun and easygoing All-Star game, it was amazing that he had the concentration and know-how to correctly call out a piece of the All-Star game. This talent that LeBron possesses dates back to high school. LeBron's family hated playing video games against him. Why? Brandon Weems is one of LeBron's longtime friends who hated playing against him in video games, and here's what he has to say. "When we were growing up, we used to play this fighting game on the Sega Genesis called Shaq Fu, and LeBron was the only one who had memorized all the moves, and so he'd win every time. We all thought he definitely was cheating. That kind of memorization and photographic memory continues to this day." Weems also said, "When you play Madden with him now, you have to be careful which teams you take, because he will know what your game plans were in the past when you've played with him, and he'll pick the opposing team knowing what plays you want to run. You better save your favorite play too, because he'll remember what you ran before in situations and be ready for it." Your only hope is to save it till the end and try to surprise him with it. I would hate to play him in video games too. That must be so frustrating. Do any of you guys have friends who are like this when it comes to playing video games? Let us know below and shout them out. Or maybe it's you. From experience, I have one friend like this, but it sounds like LeBron is on another level. Another unique and popular example of LeBron's photographic memory is told by David Griffin, who was the former general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers before he took a job with the New Orleans Pelicans. On the Bill Simmons podcast, Griffin remembered a time when LeBron didn't just use his memory for his and his team's own success. While in the middle of a game, LeBron told then Raptors forward Patrick Patterson where to be on a play. Griffin said, "I was also in the gym when I watched him on the floor against Toronto tell Patrick Patterson where he was supposed to go on the play they had called out of a timeout late in the fourth quarter," Griffin said. He was like, "No, Pat, you're supposed to stand over there, and you're going to pin down for DeMar DeRozan over here." The fact that LeBron is confident enough to help the opposing team is incredible. His mastery of the game is scary. I know he can't play forever, but I will definitely miss him when he is gone. Lastly, another way LeBron amazes with his photographic memory is with his random and in-depth knowledge of facts that the average person just can't pull out of their back pocket unless they are an expert on the particular topic. For example, ex-teammate Chris Bosh said of LeBron, "It's when he remembers other stuff, like stuff he shouldn't even know," where you're like, what? Another ex-teammate of LeBron's, Mario Chalmers, has this to say about LeBron. "Sometimes when we come into our morning meetings on game days, NBA TV will be on, and there will be some classic game on, and LeBron will take one look at it and know what game it is. He'll be like, 'Oh, that's game 2 of the '97 finals,' before they even put it on the screen. I watch a lot of basketball and have done so throughout the years, but if you were to flash an old game to me, it would be really, really tough for me to remember what game it was." No matter how many times I watch him play or hear him speak, LeBron James never ceases to amaze me. Based off of his physical prowess alone, he could have been an NBA great. His size, speed, and athleticism and love for the game isn't something that can be taught. What has made him arguably the best player in the history of the sport is combining all those traits with a remarkable brain. Other NBA players who have played against LeBron are fully aware of his brain and how he sees the game. No wonder the man got to 8 straight finals since 2010. Even after almost 20 years in the league, he still impresses me. What other athletes or coaches do you know who have a photographic memory and can recall plays or situations like they just happened? Let us know below, because no matter who it is always extremely impressive.